There's a reason some people move steadily toward their goals while others seem to spin in circles year after year. It's not talent, not luck, not even hard work. It's focus, or more precisely, the ability to eliminate distractions. You see, distractions are not just inconveniences, they are the silent killers of progress, and if we don't get ruthless with them, they'll rob us blind of time, energy, potential, and ultimately the life we were meant to build. You don't need more hours in the day, you need fewer leaks in your attention. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you're saying no to something important. That's the real trade, and most people don't even realize they're making it. Now, distractions don't always show up in ugly costumes. Sometimes they wear the mask of origin, tasks, small talk, unnecessary meetings, or the endless scroll of your phone. They look harmless. But stack enough harmless things together and they form a mountain of regret. You know what distractions do best? They delay discipline. And delayed discipline becomes delayed destiny. That workout you skipped, the book you didn't read, that business idea you postponed, all because something came up. And it always does, doesn't it? Let me tell you, what comes up doesn't determine your future. What stays down? Your habits, your values, your vision. That's what shapes your tomorrow. If you want to move forward, you've got to get serious about saying no. And not just once. Daily. Sometimes hourly. You've got to protect your time like it's gold, because it is. You've got to treat your mind like sacred ground, because it is. The best achievers aren't necessarily smarter. They're just better at guarding their gates. They decide what enters and what stays out. They don't answer every phone call. They don't open every notification. They don't attend every event. They don't chase every opportunity. They focus. Progress doesn't happen because we try everything. It happens because we focus on the right things long enough. Consistency beats intensity when intensity keeps changing direction. Here's the truth. Distractions don't just slow you down. They steal clarity. And once you lose clarity, you lose confidence. When you lose confidence, you hesitate. And hesitation over time builds a wall between where you are and where you're meant to go. But you can flip the script. You can choose discipline over delay, intention over impulse. You can turn off the noise even for just 1 hour a day. And in that 1 hour, build something that moves your life forward. Start small. Guard your mornings. Cut the digital clutter. Say no to what doesn't align. Make a short list of your top 3 priorities and get them done before anything else. Progress is not complicated. It's just consistently drowned out by what doesn't matter. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to stop letting trivial things outrun the essential ones. You're not behind in life. You're distracted. And when you fix that, momentum returns. So here's the challenging this week. Identify the top 3 distractions in your life. Eliminate them or minimize them. Replace them with intentional time. Time to read, to build, to plan, to grow. You'll be amazed at what happens when your focus sharpens. Distractions are the enemy of progress. But you're not a victim. You're in charge. So take back the wheel, cut the noise, and get back to building the life you were meant to live. Every distraction has a cost. That's not theory. It's reality. Whether it's obvious or subtle, loud or quiet, every time your focus is broken, something is being taken from you. And most of the time, you don't even know what you lost until it's too late. Time gone. Energy drained. Momentum stalled. And opportunities, they don't wait around for you to catch up after scrolling, chatting, or overthinking. You see, life doesn't charge us for distractions up front. That's what makes them so dangerous. They're free at first glance. The 5-minute check-in, the quick reply, the casual detour. But behind every harmless moment lies a delayed project, an abandoned goal, or a wasted day. That's the real price tag. And it adds up. Distractions are like invisible taxes on your dreams. You work hard all day, but something keeps nibbling away at your progress. You were going to finish that chapter, start that workout, call that client, launch that idea, but something popped up again. And now it's bedtime and you're wondering where the day went. Now, most people don't lose because they didn't have talent or tools. They lose because they traded their focus for 1,000 little things that didn't matter. That's the silent tragedy. The cost isn't just time. It's trust in yourself. Every time you let distraction win, a small piece of confidence erodes. And if you're not careful, your belief in your own potential becomes the biggest casualty. Let's be honest. Distraction feels good. It gives the illusion of motion. You feel busy. You answer messages. You comment. You check in. You react. But business isn't the same as effectiveness. You can spin your wheels all day and not move an inch closer to the life you want. Distraction is a master of disguise. It shows up looking like entertainment, rest, social connection, or minor urgency, but it always walks out with your time in its hands. The cost of distraction also shows up in your relationships. Being present is rare these days. We're with people, but not really with them. Minds half checked out, hearts half engaged. Conversations get shallower, bonds get weaker, and all because of the habit of letting our attention drift. Want to know the price of a distracted mind? Just look at how long you've been putting off the things that matter. That book idea, that fitness goal, that business plan, that deep conversation you've been avoiding. The dreams you say you have are sitting in a waiting room, and distraction is the bouncer at the door. Now, don't mistake this for guilt. It's not about guilt, it's about awareness. Because once you see the cost, you can choose differently. You can buy back your time. You can reclaim your energy. You can build the life you meant to build before you let 100 little things eat it alive. And the way you do that isn't with dramatic changes. It's with consistent choices. One moment at a time. One decision at a time. Shut the door. Turn off the noise. Say, not now, to what doesn't matter so you can say yes to what does. Protect your mornings. Guard your mind. Work in blocks. Rest with intention. Track your hours. Reflect often. That's how you make your time count. Every distraction has a cost, but so does discipline. The difference is discipline pays you back with results. Distraction robs you quietly. Discipline rewards you slowly. But over time, the difference between the two is staggering. One leaves you frustrated and stagnant. The other builds a legacy. So here's the real question. What are you willing to sacrifice? Because you're always sacrificing something. Either your future for a few fleeting comforts, or your comfort for a few bold steps forward. Either your focus for 100 empty moments, or your distractions for a life that matters. You've got the potential. You've got the ideas. But do you have the focus to finish? That's the real test. And the clock is ticking. Make today count. Not just in hours, but in impact. Every choice matters. Every moment matters. Because every distraction, no matter how small, comes with a price. And the more you pay, the less of your dream is left. Choose wisely. Progress requires protection. It's not automatic. It doesn't happen just because you started strong or because you're passionate about your goals. Progress is fragile. More fragile than most people think. It can be stalled, derailed, or even reversed if you don't guard it with serious intention. Like a young seedling, it needs shielding from storms, weeds, and careless feet that don't even notice they're stepping on something valuable. The truth is, anyone can start. Getting excited is easy. Starting a new chapter, launching a new plan, setting a new goal. That's the fun part. But protecting that progress when distractions show up, when criticism rolls in, when fatigue hits, when people don't understand your vision, that's where the real work begins. That's where many give up. Progress doesn't stick around just because you had a good idea once. It stays because you watch over it, because you protect the habits and routines that feed it. You can't expect momentum to last if you let anything and everything interrupt it. You can't make real gains if you treat your time casually, if you let people pull you in every direction, if you open the door to every excuse and still expect to move forward. Think of your progress like a campfire. It takes time and effort to light it. You need the right conditions, the right materials, and a steady hand. But once it's lit, that fire won't stay alive unless you protect it, unless you feed it and shield it from the wind. Leave it unattended and it dies out. That's how progress works. It needs constant attention, not obsession, but deliberate care. Otherwise, it fades. We live in a world full of noise, full of distractions, full of opportunities to lose focus. If you don't make it a personal mission to protect your progress, it will get stolen by the loudest voices, the easiest options, and the smallest temptations. And here's the thing, it doesn't take much to knock progress off course. One bad habit, repeated often enough, one undisciplined day turned into a pattern, one negative voice planted in your mind, that's all it takes. So how do you protect it? You build boundaries, not just around your time, but around your mind, but around your energy, around your environment. You say no to what doesn't serve the vision. You distance yourself from chaos. You cut off the little leaks, the ones that seem harmless but drain you of time and motivation day after day. Protecting progress means you stop entertaining things that sabotage your growth. Gossip, negativity, comparison, procrastination. These are the termites of personal development. They don't destroy everything at once. They nibble quietly until one day you realize the foundation is cracked. And by then you've got to start over. Another way to protect your progress. Celebrate it. Not in a loud, arrogant way, but with gratitude and reflection. When you stop and acknowledge how far you've come, you become less likely to waste what you've built. You remember the price you paid to get here. And that memory becomes a guardrail when temptation tries to steer you off track. Protecting progress also means protecting your identity. You can't grow if you keep doubting who you are becoming. Growth demands that you believe in the process, even when it feels slow. If you keep checking the scoreboard after every play, you lose rhythm. You've got to trust the work, trust the grind. Progress hides in the small steps and the unglamorous reps in the days where no one sees you. But just because it's hidden doesn't mean it's not real. Don't wait for motivation to protect what matters. Motivation fades, but discipline remembers. Discipline shows up even when it doesn't feel like it. Discipline guards the gate and says, "We've come too far to lose ground now. So protect your progress like it's gold, because it is. Like it's rare, because it is. Like it's yours to lose, because it is." Protect it from distractions, from negativity, from laziness, from doubt. Protect it with planning. Protect it with habits. Protect it with purpose. Because the goal isn't just to grow, it's to keep growing. And that only happens when progress becomes something you guard, not something you take for granted. Keep the fire burning. Guard the gate, protect the progress. Urgent is not always important. That's one of the biggest lessons in personal growth, and it separates those who stay busy from those who move forward. Just because something demands your attention doesn't mean it deserves it. Just because it's loud doesn't mean it matters. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire day, your entire life, reacting instead of building. There's a kind of trap we all fall into. It's the illusion of progress. The full calendar, the endless messages, the fast pace, the constant movement. It all what feels like productivity. But feelings can lie. You might be moving fast, but fast in the wrong direction still takes you far from your goal. Urgent things scream, important things whisper. That's the danger. The urgent shows up like a fire. It says, "Handle me now." The important sits quietly waiting for you to prioritize it. And if you don't, it doesn't explode. It just slips away. One missed workout, one delayed dream, one postponed conversation at a time. The problem is that urgent things often come from other people's agendas. A text message, a request, a favor, a meeting. And if you don't know your own priorities, you'll always live in response to theirs. You'll wake up and immediately be pulled into someone else's chaos. That's not leadership. That's surrender. You've got to step back and ask, is this urgent thing moving me closer to my goal or just pulling me away from it? Because not everything that looks like work is work. Some things are just motion without meaning, running in circles, filling the hours. But growth only happens when you start making that distinction. Now let's be clear, urgent things are sometimes necessary. The phone rings. The deadline is tonight. The car needs immediate repair. Life has urgent moments. But the problem comes when the urgent becomes your pattern on. When you spend so much time putting out fires that you never build anything that prevents the fire in the first place. Important things don't usually come with alarms. They don't yell. They don't beg for attention. Building your skills. Investing in relationships. Writing your vision. Taking care of your body. Saving money. These are the quiet things that shape a strong life. And because they don't crash into your schedule, you have to fight to keep them there. That's where structure comes in. You have to schedule the important. If you don't, the urgent will always shove it aside. And once you get into that pattern, living on the edge of deadlines, always behind, always reactive, you lose peace. You lose power. You lose the clarity that progress demands. The real discipline is not in working hard. Most people know how to be busy. The real discipline is in choosing what to work on and protecting that choice. You've got to learn to say no. More often, not to be rude, but to be responsible. Responsible for your future. Responsible for your calling. Responsible for what you said mattered most to you. Some people can't figure out why their life isn't changing, why their results stay flat. It's simple. They spend too much time chasing what feels urgent and not enough time focusing on what's truly important. Urgency brings stress. Importance brings significance. You've got to decide which you're after. Start small. Each morning, ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things I need to do today? Then do them before you get caught in the whirlwind. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, most. The person who wins is not the one who checks off the most boxes. It's the one who checks off the right boxes. Urgency will try to convince you that you can't slow down. But the truth is, clarity comes when you do. When you pause, when you reflect, when you zoom out and remember the why behind your efforts. That's how you regain direction. That's how you escape the noise. So don't let the urgent rule your life. Don't mistake business for purpose. Don't get to the end of the week the month, the year, and realize you climbed the wrong mountain. Choose what matters. Protect it. Commit to it. Let the rest wait, because the important doesn't shout, but it builds the life you actually want. Clarity fuels momentum. It's that simple. When you know exactly where you're going, what you're doing, and why it matters, you move faster and with more confidence. But when your vision is foggy, when your direction is uncertain, you hesitate, you second guess, you drift, and drift kills progress. People don't always lack motivation. They lack clarity. They wake up tired, not because they worked hard the day before, but because their mind is cluttered with confusion. They're spinning their wheels, doing a little of this and a little of that, but nothing moves the needle. Why? Because effort without direction is wasted energy. Let me tell you something about momentum. It's not magic. It's not just luck or emotion. It comes from progress. And progress comes from clarity. When your goals are specific, your plans become doable. When your plans are doable, your confidence grows. And when your confidence grows, you act. That's the sequence. It doesn't start with hype. It starts with clarity. Most people don't take the time to get clear. They jump into the day with no agenda, no targets, no priorities. Then they wonder why the day ran them instead of the other way around. But success doesn't respond to randomness. It responds to intention. You've got to think before you act. You've got to decide before you move. And once you do, momentum kicks in. Not because the path is easy, but because it's clear. Imagine trying to run through a forest with no trail. You'll move slow. You'll trip. You'll get turned around. Now imagine there's a clear path, marked, prepared, paved. You don't hesitate. You move. You gain speed. That's what clarity does to your life. It clears the path so momentum can build. Now let's get practical. Clarity doesn't happen by accident. It takes effort. You've got to ask the right questions. What do I really want? Why does it matter? What's the next step? What am I doing today that moves me closer? What am I doing that's just noise? These aren't questions you ask once. You ask them often. You revisit them. Because life has a way of crowding your mind with clutter. And clutter kills clarity. You've got to clean it out regularly. You've got to take time to step back, reflect, and realign. When you get clear, even small actions become powerful. Why? Because they're connected to a bigger picture. You're no longer just working. You're building. You're no longer just showing up. You're moving forward. That shift changes everything. Clarity also fuels your discipline. When you know where you're going, it's easier to say no to what doesn't fit. You're not as easily swayed by distractions, by trends, by pressure. You've got a filter, and that filter keeps you focused. You want to make better decisions. Get clear on your values. You want to work smarter, not just harder. Get clear on your priorities. You want to stay consistent. Get clear on your purpose. You want to overcome procrastination. Get clear on what matters now. The clearer your vision, the simpler your choices become. And simplicity creates speed. Most of the delay in life comes from indecision. But indecision is almost always a symptom of uncertainty. Get rid of the uncertainty, and your action becomes automatic. Now, I'm not saying you have to see the whole staircase, but you'd better know the next step. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Get enough to move. Then move. Clarity grows as you go. Action reveals more than sitting still ever will. But you need that initial vision, that anchor, that compass. So take the time. Get still. Think. Write. Picture the life you're building. Break it down into steps and then guard that clarity. Don't let the noise of the world blur the image of your future. Don't let other people's opinions fog up your direction. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Keep your eyes on the target, because the sharper your clarity, the stronger your momentum. And once momentum takes over, you'll be amazed how quickly things start to shift. The results you've been chasing, the goals you've been postponing, they all move faster when your mind is clear. So don't chase motivation. Build clarity. Don't hope for progress. Create focus. And once you do, momentum won't be something you force. It'll be something you ride. Saying no is a strategy. It's not rudeness. It's not negativity. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. It's a disciplined decision to protect what matters most. Every no you say to something unimportant is a yes to something that moves your life forward. But most people don't understand that. They think being available, agreeable, and constantly accommodating is the key to growth. It's not. It's the fastest way to burn out and regret. You see, life is full of invitations, people, tasks, distractions, opportunities, requests. And if you don't have a filter, if you don't have a clear vision of where you're headed, you'll say yes to everything and end up going nowhere. Some people say yes out of guilt. Others say it out of habit. Some say it because they're afraid of missing out. But every yes has a cost. Time, energy, attention. These are limited resources. You only get so many hours in a day, only so much focus, only so much willpower. If you give them away freely without thought, you'll find yourself depleted and wondering why your goals are stuck on pause. It's not just about being busy. Anybody can be busy, but being busy isn't the same as being effective. You can be busy with the wrong things, chasing the wrong dreams, solving the wrong problems. That's why you need the courage to say more often, not just to people, but to impulses, temptations, shortcuts, noise. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you a good steward of your future. Because when you say yes to everything, no to your priorities, you say no to rest, to growth. You say no to deep work and focused time. And eventually your life fills up everyone else's agenda while your own dreams starve. Success demands focus. Focus demands clarity. And clarity demands boundaries. Boundaries don't appear on their own. You have to set them. And that starts with learning to say, that's not for me. Not now. Not anymore. There's something powerful about a well-placed no. It's not emotional. It's strategic. It says, I know where I'm going. I know what I value. And I refuse to be pulled off course. That kind of clarity builds momentum. That kind of discipline builds legacy. If you want to change your life, start by changing what you tolerate, what you allow into your schedule, what you allow into your mind, what you allow into your circle. You don't have to attend every meeting. You don't have to accept every invite. You don't have to be available 247. You're not a machine, you're a builder. And builders protect their time like gold. People will test your boundaries. That's guaranteed. They'll ask for more. They'll expect your attention. They'll offer things that sound good but don't align with your direction. Your job isn't to please everyone. Your job is to move your life in the direction of purpose and principle. And that takes strategy. Saying no doesn't always feel good in the moment. Sometimes it comes with discomfort. You might disappoint someone. You might miss something. You might face resistance. But what you protect in the long run is far more valuable than what you give up in the short term. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who do the most. They're the ones who do the most important things consistently. They've mastered the art of turning down distractions so they can turn up the volume on their mission. You need a personal filter. Does this serve my purpose? Does this move me forward? Does this honor my values? If not, the answer is simple. No, thank you. Say it politely. Say it firmly. But say it. Because every time you say no to something that doesn't matter, you create space for something that does. And that space, that's where focus lives, where energy multiplies. That's where your best work happens. So make no part of your growth strategy. Say it with purpose. Use it with intention. Don't see it as a wall. See it as a gate. A gate that guards your energy, protects your time, and ensures your progress stays on track. Remember, the life you build tomorrow depends on the decisions you make today. And the power of a well-placed no just might be the key that unlocks your next level.